ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणम Actually, Srila Jiva Goswami says that a disciple should see every verse that he hears in Shastra as a glorification of Guru. So, this is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. So, I beg the blessings of everyone. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripasindubhya vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So, this is very wonderful when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read any pastime of, especially of the devotee of the Lord, because this is very rare in spiritual life, and we get to hear about the glories of pure souls. Because actually, when we're speaking about Maharaj Dhruva Maharaj is here right now. Right now, he's here because Srila Prabhupada is here, and with Srila Prabhupada, all the great personalities are here. So, as we are hearing, as we are meditating, if we pray very, very intensely to the lotus feet of Dhruva Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, that somehow we can get this kind of determination. Because if we can somehow bring this kind of determination in our life at any cost, then we will definitely achieve perfection. So, pure devotees are very merciful, so we can pray very intensely. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Actually, in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada mentions also to the devotees how health is very, very important. And as Prabhupada says always, prevention is better than cure. So many times when we get sick or when we get into the situation, then we take so many medications. But better still is actually to take some, prevention so that we don't get into the situation that I am in right now. Devauchu Naivam vidamo Bhagavan Pranarodham. Naivam vidamo Bhagavan Pranarodham. Characharasya kila satvadhamnaha. Videhi tanno vrijinad vimoksham. Prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam. Naivam vidamo Bhagavan Pranarodham. Characharasya kila satvadhamnaha. Videhi tanno vrijinat vimoksham. Prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam. Anyone also recite. Mataji's. Deva Uchu. Sorry, anyone else wants to recite? Deva Uchu. All the demigods said, Na, not, Evam, thus, Vidamaha, we can understand. Bhagavan, O personality of Godhead, Pranarodham, how we feel our breathing choked. Chara, moving. Acharasya, not moving. Akhila, universal. Sattva, existence. Dhamnaha, the reservoir of. Videhi, kindly do the needful. Tat, therefore. Naha, our. Vrijinath, from the danger. Vimoksham, liberation. Praptaha, approaching. Vayam, all of us. Tvam, unto you. Sharanam, shelter. Sharanyam, worthy to be taken shelter of. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. The demigod said, Dear Lord, you are the refuge of all moving and non-moving living entities. We feel all living entities to be suffocating, their breathing processes choked up. We have never experienced such a thing. Since you are the ultimate shelter of all surrendered souls, we have therefore approached you. Kindly save us from this danger. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj's influence, attained by executing devotional service unto the Lord, was felt even by the demigods who had never before experienced such situation. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's controlling his breathing, the entire universal breathing process was choked. It is by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that material entities cannot breathe, whereas spiritual entities are able to breathe. Material entities are products of the Lord's external energy, whereas spiritual entities are products of the Lord's internal energy. The demigods approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabh Nityapadan Gaurhe Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, who is a controller of both kinds of entities in order to know why their breathing was choked. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate goal for the solution to all problems within this material world. In the spiritual world, there are no problems, but the material world is always problematic. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master of both the material and spiritual worlds, it is better to approach him in all problematic situations. Thus, those who are tho- those who are devotees have no problems in this material world. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Chaitanya Chandramrita. Devotees are free from all problems because they are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of God. For a devotee, everything in the world is very pleasing because he knows how to use everything in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, again, I beg the blessings of everyone. Beg the blessings of everyone so I can speak something. Please forgive me if time to time there is some little interruption. So, this is very wonderful, very extraordinary. Actually, Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam. Everyone can repeat after me. Everyone can actually look up this verse of Bhagavatam. This is an amazing verse. I don't have internet, so one can look it up. Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam. Tadeva Shashvan Manaso Mahutsavam. तदेव शोकार्णवशोषणं नृणाम् यत् उत्तमश्लोकयशोऽनुगीयते. Diviti, can you read the translation?
Those words describing the glories of the all famous personality of Godhead are attractive, relishable, and ever fresh. Indeed, such words are a perpetual festival for the mind, and they dry up the ocean of misery.
So, this is one of my favorite verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. I heard this many years ago. And so, we should always aspire to um, always be in that festival, have permanent presence in that festival where the enthusiasm, the determination, the taste of pure devotees is overflowing. And only in that association can we experience the sweetness, the beauty, the infinite dynamic personality of Krishna. So, yesterday's verse is it's an extraordinary verse actually. Devatit Pro gave very wonderful, very powerful class. I was also very much moved by that class and really deeply meditating how I can improve my own wretched condition. So, very wonderful class yesterday. Thank you, bro. So, yesterday's verse. This is I just noted this down from the purport. A devotee by his personal devotional service can influence all of the people of the whole world to become devotees of the Lord. This is a very powerful line. So in this particular line in the purport, Prabhupada is saying by his personal devotional service. So this is the power of the personal example. Actually, I am very wretched, very fallen, but we all have experience when a pure devotee starts speaking, any pure devotee, by his sound vibration, when he starts speaking, you see that after a few minutes, he actually, by his sound vibration, he creates the Vrindavan atmosphere, the transcendental atmosphere, as he's speaking or he's singing, and it just completely transports the whole audience to another realm. That is the power of pure devotee. So Srila Prabhupada, by his famous example, we all know his famous example in New York, by his chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just by his pure chanting, so many people were attracted. So that is the power of Shuddha Nam. So as devotees, we should all aspire for Shuddha Nam, to chant the pure name which is non-different from Krishna. Actually, that should be one of our first aspirations, because without prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate. Without tasting something in Krishna consciousness, we cannot give up anartha. So, like some people have this misconception that first anarthas will go and then we will get love of God. But actually, Vishnu Chakri Thakur says, first we get the taste. It's like we all have the experience. When we came to Krishna consciousness, did we first start chanting Hare Krishna, or did we first give up the regulative principle? I mean, did we first start following the regulative principles? First started chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasadam, taking association. Then we started following. Then we start giving up the unwanted things. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is a positive alternative, and therefore we have to have this intense prayer to chant the pure name, because name is everything, and name is the center of our process, chanting the holy name. So I should pray to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada also said 99% of our advancement is dependent on the holy name. So we should pray to the holy name. We may do many services, but at the center of it all is the holy name. Because the holy name controls our taste in the holy name, or our attitude towards the holy name determines how much service attitude is awakened within our heart to serve the Lord. The mood with which we approach the holy name, how much we take shelter of the holy name. So we have to see the holy name as a person, Nam Prabhu. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, Nam Prabhu. So we see the holy name as a person, we take shelter of the holy name. And you beg the holy name to give us strength in Krishna consciousness. That's why in our preaching or in our spreading of Krishna consciousness, we have to stress this point about the dedication to the holy name. That at all costs we have to maintain our dedication to the holy name. Even though we may be very sick, so many problems may come, but this is most important. This has to be stressed again and again, because once you lose, like persons who stop chanting the prescribed number of rounds, and slowly everything falls apart. And our chanting, as much as possible, should be quality chanting. What is quality chanting? Quality chanting means we are taking shelter of the name, even though the mind may be going all over, but we are actively trying to take shelter of the holy name as a person. We're trying to chant attentively with full confidence that yes, this holy name is non different from Krishna. This holy name can give me Krishna prem. So, with that full confidence, um, we take shelter of the holy name, and we pray to the holy name for deeper and deeper realizations. So, we should never give the holy name a second priority, chanting while talking, chanting while whatever maybe holy name, or even sometimes we may be chanting also. Sometimes I see, of course it's not here, but sometimes I see that people are chanting when a class is happening, so whether the rounds may be counted, may not be counted. Of course, it's a different thing if someone is on a very high platform, the holy name is constantly dancing. That's what we all aspire for. But otherwise, we should never do multitasking with the holy name. It's a very important principle, because at every moment Krishna is watching, Guru is watching. They're always watching. With what kind of eye? They're watching with a loving eye, with a merciful eye. They always want to shower mercy. That is their vision. And then this is an amazing line, another line from yesterday's purport. If there is only one pure devotee in pure Krishna consciousness, he can change the total consciousness of the world into Krishna consciousness. This is not very difficult to understand. Sorry, this is not very difficult to understand when we study the behavior of Dhruva Maharaj. So again, Srila Prabhupada. At Prabhupada, if you see Prabhupada's life, recently, few days I was very sick, and naturally, I couldn't do much. So I had the great privilege of hearing Prabhupada memories. And if those of you have not heard, I highly recommend you to hear Prabhupada memories. It's really astonishing the kind of Leelas Prabhupada manifested. So basically, the point is, Sri Ranath Maharaj, I'm paraphrasing, Sri Ranath Maharaj said is discover your own tune and fine tune that tune and share it with the world. Which means that everyone has some special attraction for something in Krishna consciousness, whether it's Srimad Bhagavatam or, you know, uh, chanting the holy name, whatever it may be. Everyone has some special, very special inclination, pure devotional inclination in bhakti. So we discover that and we perfect that and we share that with the whole world. So if there is only one pure devotee in pure Krishna consciousness, the essence is pure Krishna consciousness. So how can we become purely Krishna conscious? We can only be purely Krishna conscious when we become connected to someone who is in pure consciousness. So that's why we have to hear and we have to connect our heart with the pure devotees of the Lord. We should have very deep faith. What type of faith we should have? That we should have this kind of faith, especially in our spiritual master, in the parampara, in the pure devotees, that we can just follow whatever they say without the need for any proof. We should have blind faith in the pure devotees. Of course, after establishing our faith, but once we have established our faith, we should put blind faith, 100% faith. Everything in this world and in the spiritual world, moves by feeling. And faith is actually is a feeling, is a mood of dependence, that I will do anything it takes to Srila Prabhupada and exalted devotees of the Lord. I will do anything it takes to bring a smile to their face. So that should be our mood. We have to establish this mood very deeply in our heart, that at least we should pray like this. The gopis, they are willing to go to hell eternally for the pleasure of Krishna. At least we should pray, we should be able to pray this, that at least I am prepared to go to hell eternally to bring a smile to the face of my spiritual master. Because today, the class is going to be glorification of Guru Tattva. Because what is the central point of Dhruva's success story? The central point is his unflinching faith in Guru. There were so many reasons why Dhruva may not, could not have followed those instructions, because Narad Muni's instructions, as we have studied, they are very, very difficult instructions to follow. Just think about it. If Guru tells you, okay, close shop, today, go to Vrindavan, and anyway, now it's summertime, it's not that cold. Take a bath in the Yamuna every day. You can live under this tree, and you can eat some fruits and berries every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you can chant this mantra. So this is your uh, instructions. Now you can leave. So, you know, even speaking for myself, jaws will be dropping, will be shocked. But Dhruva did it. Right? Dhruva did it. Why? Because he had that, not only that faith, but he had so much love. He had so much love for Narad Muni. So everything in this world and in the spiritual world moves by feeling. Narottam Das Thakur, he achieved the shelter of his guru, who is actually a Manjari, simply by wetting the area of Kishore Kund with his tears. Actually, Narottam Das Thakur, he became so desperate, that actually what happened, he was cleaning the stool of Lokanath Goswami. Lokanath Goswami was not initiating him. So Narottam Das Thakur started crying so uncontrollably that the Sakis and Manjaris actually, who are eternally there in the Nitya Leela, they actually appeared to Lokanath Goswami, saying that, "Oh my dear Manjulali, why you are so hard-hearted?" So, see, that is called desperation, that intense desperation to get mercy. So, we will get mercy, any mercy, whatever mercy we want in our life, whether it's Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, Mahaprabhu's mercy, Guru's mercy, whatever it may be, to overcome any problem when we become very eager for it. Raghunath Das Goswami, just by seeing Lord Chaitanya, he became so much mad after him, become so much mad after him. And again, he tried to run away from home. Uh, Of course, Mahaprabhu says, this is for us. Mahaprabhu says to Das Goswami that don't become a market vairagi, don't become a artificial renunciant. But Das Goswami's renunciation was not artificial. He just was so much madly attracted to Lord Chaitanya. So this is wanted. This is wanted to have that intense attraction uh, to Guru's qualities, to Guru's pastimes, to Guru's instructions. This is wanted. This is wanted. So I was uh, I was hearing his amazing class recently, as well as Ranath Maharaj was saying that real mercy means causeless mercy, and real dependence means depending on causeless mercy. So causeless mercy means it is not attained by anything except intense desire. Intense desire. So unless we have that intense desire, even if we get it, we will not be able to hold it. Actually, all these Prabhupada disciples, they had intense desire for spiritual life. If you read Radhanath Maharaj's journey home, if you hear any Prabhupada disciple, you hear about how they came to, for spiritual life, they were very serious. They went everywhere. They went to this place, that river. They did, begging. They did intense austerities. They did crazy things. And then they got Srila Prabhupada. And actually, how they serve Prabhupada, they serve Prabhupada as if literally they serve like this, like they're a machine. They just took the machine and put Prabhupada's hand. So Prabhupada, you operate the machine. They serve like that. They literally, their body did not exist, their mind did not exist. When you have a body, have a mind is a question of using. But in their context. There's no question of body and mind. Prabhupada, what do you want? Okay, done. Whenever Prabhupada would come, they would paint the temple. Devotees, I shouldn't be speaking, but devotees in the temple, they would finish all their round before Mangalarti. They would go they would attend, you know, Mangalarti, Guru Puja, and they would go for book distribution till 9 o'clock. They would come back. They would take simple breakfast, not the kind of breakfast we get nowadays. Simple breakfast, very simple breakfast, and then again go the whole day. You know. So and they would come back at night 9:30, 10. They would read Krishna book, drink some hot milk, and again the same schedule. For them, no question of any break. No question of Saturday, Sunday, zero break, nothing. 365 days of the year, same thing, same thing. So they served Prabhupada like this. Uh, so whoever it was, they served Prabhupada like mad. So uh, Prabhupada himself, one time, one news reporter, he was so envious of Prabhupada or whatever his mood have been. So he came to Prabhupada and he asked Prabhupada that your disciples are sleeping so less, working so hard. How many hours do you sleep? So Prabhupada said that I sleep from 10 to 12. So one devotee said, Prabhupada says he only sleeps 4 hours. Prabhupada said, no, I sleep from 10 to 12, only 2 hours. So, yeah, it's amazing. So, when these devotees, Prabhupada disciples, they had such an intense attachment to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada disappeared, they had experienced such a very powerful separation. Some Prabhupada disciples, they felt so much separation from Prabhupada that for a year, like after Prabhupada disappeared, they didn't speak. They didn't speak. They were barely eating. They were just somehow maintaining their, just think about this. Like, at least for myself, those who have had the experience of losing or, experiencing the departure of a great soul, you know, to actually really feel separation, it requires spiritual maturity. It requires spiritual maturity because to the extent that we can get the mercy from a pure devotee, to that extent we can see a pure devotee. To that extent we can develop a relationship with a pure devotee. And that's why only when we get the full mercy of pure devotee, then only we can have that kind of intense attachment. Intense attachment. And when we will have that intense attachment, then there will be no time for eating, there will be no time for sleeping. I should not be speaking, but that will come a stage. So ultimately, um, everything depends on this extreme faith and extreme sacrifice. Both these things are important. Very extreme faith, lobhamay shraddha, which means what? I will do anything it takes to get this mercy. What is mercy? What should we be praying for as devotees? We should be only be praying for attaining spiritual maturity, for attaining taste, for attaining relishment in Krishna consciousness. And this extreme faith can only be maintained when we do lot of sacrifices. Many problem will come, body will give problem, mind will give problem, envir- environment will give problem. But if we want to enter the plane of absolute reality, then which is flowing in Vraja, in Navadvip, at every moment there is an extreme surrender, extreme sacrifice. That is the dynamic, ecstatic existence. It's not a planned, boring life. Okay, today morning I will wake up, go to job, come back. No, everything in the spiritual world is dynamic, and that's why, at least little experience I've have of dealing with pure devotees, it is like that. How much ever you may put a plan, of course, um, they don't want to drive others crazy, but it's just their way of living. That they just at every moment they're prepared to make extreme sacrifices. There's no question of now is my time for sense gratification, because the only problem is sense gratification. If you have no desire for sense gratification means, then, and you have extreme taste in bhakti means, eating is boring, sleeping is boring, everything else is boring. So one time actually my spiritual master, he could not sleep at night, so he was just reading Prabhupada books. He was doing it next day as usual, and next day as usual he was going on, and then he said, I'll take some rest now. So when he said I'll take some rest now, I also became very happy, because I thought that I also get some time. But then that rest only lasted for 15 minutes. So the thing is, actually, we should pray to actually realize the glory, the internal glory of pure devotees of the Lord. Because if we realize that, if we experience that, if we become touched by their extraordinary devotion, their purity, their love for Krishna, then we can serve them 24 hours a day. We'll never be separated from them. So we need to intensely crave for that causeless mercy by begging and begging and begging from a pure devotee of the Lord. Uh, so our gurus, our pure devotees, they are very intimate associates of Srimati Radharani, and they have this very powerful, um, you can say, this very powerful desire in their heart, burning in their heart day and night, that how to give pleasure to the senses of Krishna. So we need to, in order to inherit that, in order to get that same anxiety, that intense desire to give pleasure to the senses of the divine couple, we need to pay the price. What is the price? The price is intense dedication to Guru's mission. Intense dedication to Guru's mission. We need to make Guru's mission one with our heart. Guru's mission means everything, sum total. Guru's devotees, Prabhupada's mission, Prabhupada's temples, Prabhupada's books, everything related to Srila Prabhupada, we need to make our life and soul. What Narottam Das Thakur is saying, say vrata, say tapa, say more mantra japa, say more dharma karama. अनुकूलः विविधि सेपदे होइबे सिद्धि निराखिबो ए दुई नयने. And at one point he says, Chirodina tapita jivan. He's saying that day and night my my heart is palpitating. For what? Narottam Das Thakur is saying, my heart is palpitating. He's praying to Rupa Goswami to have your eternal darshan. So this kind of intense palpitation, this kind of intense desire will only come in the heart when we are completely connected internally with Guru, by identifying with his mission. Because spiritual master, pure devotees of the Lord, what do they have to do in this world? They are not here to eat chapatis and puris and and see different kind of people. Today American, tomorrow Indian, Punjabi. No, they're not interested. They are here, why? For mission. Saraswati Thakur, who is Nanamani Manjari, he came to this world for mission. So think about it, how much they sacrifice for mission. See, that's how much mission is important. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada is a wonderful example. At any point, if I'm sorry if the class goes a little over time today, if any of you need to leave, then I humbly understand that you have services. So Please forgive me. So, Prabhupada, we all know about Prabhupada's connection with his guru. How much strong was Prabhupada's connection with his guru? What did he do? Actually, recently I was just hearing about Prabhupada's life. When he was a Grihastha, he was chanting 64 rounds every day. Of course, there may have been accounts of Prabhupada not chanting also, but I read this account of Prabhupada chant 64 rounds every day as a Grihastha. And he was reading 4 hours of Bhagavatam. And this is Tamal Samaj was saying every day he was bathing his deities, cooking for his deities, worshipping his deities, even he was stitching clothes for his deities. This is his extraordinary. And when he was a Grihastha, whenever he was living a very simple home, so Prabhupada used to follow this principle of a grihastha, right? After cooking, he would go to the street and call anyone there. And only after feeding people and nobody was there, then only he would take prasadam. And whenever any uninvited guest comes last minute, no, Prabhupada would accommodate him, make him sit down and serve him so menially. As a grihastha, Prabhupada did this. And later, Srila Prabhupada, as a vanaprastha, he would go hungry to sell the bag to Godhead. Many times in Delhi, Prabhupada would go to uh, to the to the person who was printing, and doesn't require much to print a magazine, and it's not like a hi-fi magazine, simple magazine. Prabhupada did not even have enough money to afford breakfast. So Prabhupada would go there without having taken breakfast, and that person would say that Swamiji. So Prabhupada would say that I have to choose between breakfast and printing this. Printing this is more important. And Prabhupada never showed any kind of disgust or any kind of, oh, I have to do this. No, Prabhupada was so blissful. I spoke this in another class that in Vrindavan, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, who is Prabhupada's sannyas guru, one time told Prabhupada, why you are sleeping on the ground? It's so cold. You will become sick. Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj never asked me to use money for my sense gratification. My Guru Maharaj only asked me to use money for printing books. That was, see, of course, on one hand, this is very extreme, very difficult, but this shows how much mad affection, mad dedication, love, Prabhupada had, for his guru. Otherwise, how a person could do something like this? This is literally like insanity. Doing one day, doing 2 days different, but doing whole life is different. This is Prabhupada's Guru Bhakti. And when he came to the West, Rupa Goswami said, I will come with you. His Guru Maharaj said, I will come with you. And that's why everyone was stunned by his presence. One devotee, I was hearing Prabhupada memories, one devotee, just saw Prabhupada, I think he paid obeisance. I think he gave something to Prabhupada. He gave a garland to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said Jai. And he said, oh, this, he said, even though I was a new devotee, when I heard this Jai, it felt like I'm in the spiritual world. So this is a power when one is so deeply connected to Guru. He can manifest that kind of transformation in the heart, because we want to manifest transformation in our heart and others' heart. If we can get someone's heart to become attached to Krishna, what more do we need? No, we don't need any. I mean, of course, as a temple, we need certain, finances to. But ultimately, this is what we want. We want this kind of dedication of the heart. That is the greatest achievement. If we can make someone's heart completely dedicated to this mission of Srila Prabhupada, which is ultimately, what is that? It is ultimately coming from Lord Chaitanya, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, that Krishna is eternally trying to pay back the debt to the gopis, and that same mood that Krishna is carrying in his heart as Gauranga is what Srila Prabhupada is giving through this mission, nothing less. And that's what we want everyone to be a part of, that mission, that external and internal mission. So today's verse, Dhruva Maharaj's influence attained by executing devotional service unto the Lord was never felt by the demigods who had never before experienced such a situation. So that is a power. That is a power of pure devotee. A pure devotee, I am sorry to say, is a Bhagavatam class, but pure devotee, is even worshipable for the demigods. Why? Because pure devotees can give Raja Prem. They have that power. It's like Prabhupada. Never before did America experience such a revolution. Policemen were shocked at how these persons were trying to keep them under law and order. These people, they're paying obeisances in the airport of all places. This is not a church or a mosque. They're shocked. It is by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that material entities cannot breathe, but spiritual entities are able to breathe. So, in difficult time, only attachment to Guru, I mean, this is my little experience. Only attachment to Guru, pure devotees, can give hope to a disciple, can give hope to any devotee practically. We can stop at any time in our spiritual life and ask, how much in my heart am I willing to sell myself for Prabhupada's mission? How much am I willing? Do I have any terms? Do I have any conditions? Because everything else will fail in the difficult time. Because in difficult time, what difficult time means, time will come, like I also have experienced sometime. It's very difficult to chant the holy name. Mind is disturbed. We have some very serious sickness, very difficult to chant 16 rounds. No energy practically to chant 16 rounds. This is my personal experience. At that time everything else will fail. Only one thing we will remember, that I have to do this for pleasure of Guru. That time, of course, I am not so exalted, but that time we may not experience the extreme taste in the holy name. No, that time this is the only hope. So that means anyone who does not have this kind of intense attachment, intense faith in Guru will not be able to survive. It's like everyone discouraged Srila Prabhupada. Who didn't discourage Prabhupada? Everyone discouraged him. Everyone called him crazy person. You're going to America for what? At this age. But what did Prabhupada say? No, it is my duty. Prabhupada is saying as if it is some small thing. Prabhupada is saying it is my duty. Prabhupada is saying so humbly, so casually, but how much deeply imprinted was that responsibility in Prabhupada's heart, that I have to do this. So unless we have that deep responsibility, deep accountability to spiritual master in the heart, to pure devotees, the time of difficulty will definitely fail. And it is better to approach him in problematic situations. Approaching Krishna. So approaching Krishna in problematic situation sometimes is not so easy also. Why? Because we don't get direct reciprocation. So how do we get that intense, um, that strength to cry in the difficult situation? Only by pure devotee's mercy. Actually, if pure devotee bestow mercy on us, we will get the intelligence in a difficult situation to cry for mercy. And speaking for myself also, when we are in difficult situation, we end up doing everything else except crying for mercy. Why? Because we think praying is like, what is, I have prayed so many times. No, praying is the best solution. Because why? Praying actually, dadami buddhiyogam tam. Speak for myself also, many times in bhakti, we can do many things to make progress. There are many opportunities available. But because of lack of intelligence given by Krishna, because we don't have Krishna given intelligence, even though the opportunity is there in front of us, we cannot, like, sometimes I also experience mind may be disturbed. It just takes a split second to come down or to go and dance in the arti. And then in 5 minutes everything is gone. Everything is gone. So, but then the ability to perceive that opportunity and to take that opportunity is requires mercy, requires mercy. And that's why we need to be connected to Guru in the heart constantly. We need to pray constantly, not one time, not two time. This Holiness Haladhar Maharaj said, in difficult time you should pray to Guru. He said many devotees say, oh, I prayed to Guru, I prayed to Prabhupada, and they didn't say. He said, how many time you pray, how many time, 100 time, 200 time. And Maharaj gave the example in India, I don't know, the example of passing a bill. He said, if you want to pass a bill in India, you have to really beg like anything. So he said, so when we are always in this begging mood and when we're always connected, then we can approach Lord in problematic situation. Yeah. Devotees of this is these two last two lines are the essence of Gaudiya Vaishnava existence. Devotees are free from all problems because they are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of God. This is very powerful. So, when a devotee goes through all odds to carry out Guru's instruction without getting distracted, without getting a break, then Krishna remove all his problem. Actually, all our problem, Adhyatmik, Adidevik, Adi Bhautik, we can destroy them very quickly. Very quickly. Our karma, whatever we can destroy it. How? If we go through all sacrifices, all difficulties to execute Guru's mission. That will burn away all our problems. Whatever anxiety we're supposed to get by not by losing our job, if we're meant to lose a job, or we're meant to get some health illness, or some family member supposed to give us some trouble, all that will be vaporized by this tapasya. This tapasya. Actually, one Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj appeared to a disciple of Saraswati Thakur. Actually, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Prabhupada's sannyas guru, and he told him, because of your intense guru nishta, I am removing all your problems now. And now you go and you preach fearlessly. So this is a power. This is a power when we go through this kind of, and that's why Srila Prabhupada is so successful. Mm. After such an extreme test, what was Prabhupada's test? Prabhupada faced so much discouragement in India. Nobody acknowledged his message. There were times when Prabhupada didn't even have enough clothes to wear in India. Nobody helped Prabhupada. So much discouragement to come to America. Everyone called him crazy. Uh, and, no support, no financial support. And then after that, he had 3 heart attacks on the ship. And then coming to America, there's still people who are trying to kill him. Initially, also he was not so successful. And after all this extreme struggle, and finally what he did, for a devotee, anything in the world is very pleasing because he knows how to use everything in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So then Prabhupada actually transformed this world into the spiritual. That is ISKCON. That's what Prabhupada did. So, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhupada did an incredible thing, but how he was able to do that thing? Just by this attachment. And how did he build that? How did he build that attachment? By that intense attachment to Guru. And how did he get that intense attachment to Guru? He he became addicted to hearing from him. So this addiction to hearing, whether he said, I may understand, I may not understand, but I was hearing. I was hearing. Because by hearing, na, you get connected. You get connected to the mood. You can understand when you're hearing, okay, now Guru Maharaj is, in this mood. Now Guru Maharaj is upset. Now, so according to mood, you can understand the intensity of the instruction. You can understand the context of the instruction. Many times we may take an instruction out of context and just say that, oh, how can this person say this? No, there's a context to everything. There's a context to everything. So there's great hope for us in a um, spiritual life. There is extreme hope is there. Extreme hope is there. We just have to take shelter. of pure devotees of the Lord. And of course, Srila Prabhupada, we are so fortunate. We we have Prabhupada's practical instructions how to become pure devotee. We have the practical example how Prabhupada manifested pure devotion. We have the practical example of how Prabhupada carry out did the responsibilities we're doing now. And actually, we are so fortunate that we have such a Srila Prabhupada. You know, so many room conversations, so many letters, so much love. We have so much love of Srila Prabhupada in our life. And Prabhupada gave us our spiritual masters. Prabhupada gave us such an amazing society, so many wonderful devotees manifesting such amazing devotion every day, taking care of us. So we can express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada by making this sacrifice towards his mission, by making his mission our life and soul, and by constantly associating with those who have this intense dedication to his mission. I'll just end with this last point, very, very powerful point. One time I was hearing actually lecture of Srila Prabhupada, and this is, of course, I cannot manifest the mood. So one person is glorifying Prabhupada for everything he had done. And Prabhupada just told one line. He was glorifying Prabhupada's all his achievements. Just think about it. 108 temples, so many books, a society, food for life. Prabhupada, what did Prabhupada not do? Right? And Prabhupada said, if my Guru Maharaj is not pleased with this, it's just a complete waste. And then Prabhupada said with so much gravity, I was shocked. Like, how could Prabhupada say this? So, we can learn from Srila Prabhupada. We can learn a lot from Srila Prabhupada. and if we read also about how Prabhupada builds this institution, sometimes when we think Prabhupada is a pure devotee, so Prabhupada is always in samadhi. Yes, that is true. But it's also good to hear about how much Prabhupada was practically involved in the day-to-day affairs of ISKCON. Like I was reading that Prabhupada one time in Vrindavan he made one devotee install this bell, because in every temple in India, in most temples in Vrindavan especially, they ring this bell every hour. So Prabhupada didn't hear the bell. So Prabhupada asked his servant and asked that devotee that I don't hear the bell. Prabhupada very casually said, and then that says Prabhupada, yes, Prabhupada, I don't hear. Then Prabhupada became very heavy. Prabhupada said, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Why don't I hear it? So the thing is that Prabhupada was pushing like anything. Gopal Krishna Maharaj said that they worked so hard to, initially Vrindavan temple, put everything up. They worked so hard. And they told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, now everything is first class. Prabhupada said, according to you, it's first class. According to me, it's fifth class. So this is how much Prabhupada used to push the devotees. Like crazy. If you read, it's like you get the impression like Prabhupada literally like a taskmaster, like anything. So uh, we are very fortunate that we have that example, and therefore we also should be so much driven and so much serious about maintaining this mission that Prabhupada treated this mission, this ISKCON, like his own blood. So we're very fortunate to also have his grace Yulkishore Prabhu, who is actually, when you read Prabhupada Lilamrita, you see like Yulkishore Prabhu's mood, same thing, same concern. So we are very fortunate to be under guidance of someone who has that same mood, is actually a Prabhupada man, Prabhupada's dear associate. So on this note, I would like to end. Mm, I would like to make one disclaimer also, that of course bhakti is about intense dedication, intense everything, but bhakti is not like one or zero. So it's not like either you do nirjal in ekadasi or you eat a feast on ekadasi. There are shades, there are shades. So we have to understand, and we have to, according to time, place and circumstance, we have to adjust, and we have to do what is appropriate. So that is very important. Because if we don't have the maturity to understand that there is a progression, then we may not be successful in Krishna consciousness. So that is always important. Otherwise, either we may become depressed that the standard is too high, or we may become proud also, artificially thinking that we have achieved such a high standard. So bhakti is eternal growth, and even after we achieve a spiritual body, also will be growing. Bhakti eternally. So Radharani's love for Krishna is eternally growing, and um, Krishna's intense desire to repay the debt, Radharani's love is also growing eternally. So everything is eternally growing, and we will also eternally grow in the spiritual world also. But we should pray, we should have an intense desire. Like we all are, so many parents are sitting here. Many times, parents or people ask, oh, what will your child become? Oh, he will become this, he will become this
Atharva,
doctor, this
Atharva,
COCTO. But actually we should
Atharva.
have this kind of prayer.
Kita Vilas.
Oh, my son, my daughter, they should become eternal associate of Mahaprabhu. They should become eternal associate of Radharani. And we should tell them that you're capable of this, you should do this. Should be a life's mission. We should speak about these things regularly, not that we should speak only about everything else and not this. No, we should highlight this. We should highlight this. And it's possible. Why is it not possible? It is definitely possible. Mm, we should pray this is the best prayer we should do for ourselves, everyone. That pure devotion, pure devotion, pure devotion, that is the best prayer. So, on that note, I need all of your blessings that I can develop pure devotion someday. I'm very fallen. I don't know what I spoke. I prepared something yesterday. Anyone has any question or comment? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I don't understand, paraphrase what you are saying. I can only paraphrase, I cannot bring that gravity what you spoke. So you rightly said that the devotional quality, I mean, it is not, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was arguing with one of his professors. So you are saying why you have become devoted to devotional therapy. Rather than cultivate the good qualities. They immediately say, the good qualities will come by this devotional therapy.
Yeah.
And he left that practice. By that argument. The next thing I like that he said, very difficult to understand what the Guru is saying. Prabhupada also said, I did not understand the Bengali accent of my Guru and English accent also. But I keep on hearing and hearing. So he appreciates that thing. Recently I heard, he appreciates my hearing. So I did not understand. That was and also I like the schedule. I never heard that Prabhupada reading so many hours Bhagavatam and other services. Only heard that he was sleeping for 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, so that shows now that everything counts. Every obeisance counts. Every prayer counts. Every petal that we offer to Srila Prabhupada counts. Everything counts. Ultimately, everything will have its, will bear the fruit.
So, thank you for the class, Prabhu. So, my question is, Prabhu said so much believableness in the spiritual activities. And we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, every devotion, there's a believableness in the prayers. They approach what the prayers of Kunti Devi, or we take there's so much variety in the prayers. And what is the mercy they are seeking? There is variety. And if we see in our life, in different situations, you said different situations, what kind of prayers that that one can know is appropriate for a different situation, given that it is not easy to ask one spiritual master or mentor at every moment, all the time. And so, unless one is under full tutelage of a spiritual master all the time, under a mentor, where they can ask like that. Otherwise, the prayers, how to determine what kind of prayers to ask, to offer, how to do that, and what kind of mercy that one needs to ask.
Yeah, but you know the answer better than me. But just to repeat, so the question is, how do we know? Because we not may not have access to pure devotees and mentor at every moment. So at every moment, how do you know what to pray and what mercy to beg for? Yes, bro. I mean, Shastra is there, and and Guru is there. Like Guru may not be physically there, but Guru is always there. If we try to connect with Guru, we immediately feel his presence. So, and then by connecting to Guru, then we understand what to pray for. We understand, and yeah, over a period of time, as we live with a sincere devotee, that's why it's important for us to associate for a prolonged time with serious devotees, so that we see their behavior in different situations, their mood in different situations. We know how to pray, what to pray, etc. So yeah, we need to spend time. We need to bathe in devotee association. Like there is no substitute to that. It's just like, for example, right, if someone is very dirty, they need to stand under the shower. You cannot get like some perfume, or you cannot get some gel and just rub it over your body and say that's the same as taking a shower. No, you need to stand under the shower. And even while standing under the shower, sometimes we may come out of the shower because the shower, it may be very uncomfortable to become clean. So that's what devotee association. We need exposure. We need to be in devotee association, and we need to live in devotee association with a desire to please them. That's very important. Many things will happen in devotee association that we cannot even think, but it's it's so important. Anyone has any question or comment? Online, anyone has any question or comment? Okay. On that note, we will end. It's late. Please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate, or above my adhikar. Vancha kalpataru कृपा सिंधु बेवच अपैतनाम पावने विष्णु अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय.